Did 343 finally do it? Guys, they fixed probably some of the worst decisions made in their games, Halo 4, 5, and Infinite. Halo Epitaph, which is a book that came out recently, has some large revelations that people are buzzing about lately. Big indicators of what could be coming in Halo 7, and we'll be talking about that later in the video. So stick around for some Halo 7 story teasers here. The stuff is pretty juicy. Now, full disclosure, I haven't finished the book myself, but I want to talk about some people and what their thoughts are about what the book said and what could be coming next. By the way, if you want this book for free right now, all you got to do is sign up with my Audible link down in the description, get a 30-day free trial. Super easy, and it helps support the channel a lot. I could not wait about this. I'm still reading it, so I need time to form my own speculation. But based on what the readers said here, this is some incredible revelations about what could be in Halo 7, what could be happening next. So obviously, spoilers ahead. Yes, I've spoiled the book for myself. I don't care. I just want to know what happens in Halo 7, right? So one of the biggest things I hated about 343's games, specifically like Halo 5, is the assassination on Cortana's character, but really in Halo Infinite too, right? It seems like 343 has dropped the Gravemind logic plague narrative where Cortana, instead of her being like infected by the logic plague and warped and distorted and corrupted of her time on High Charity with the Gravemind back at the end of Halo 2, it seems like 343 made it where she basically killed tons of people, rebels, humans, blew up the brute homeworld and all that in Halo Infinite, only in a sober mind, actually. And it wasn't ever explained or implied that Cortana was acting out of someone else's will, but her own. And to me, this kind of ruined the entire Halo franchise. And this is something I haven't really admitted yet because it's just so awfully negative, but now that we're here and 343 is patching up the lore, it is no longer apparently a theory. This is something that actually did happen, which we kind of already knew, but it was still a theory at the end of the day. But this is firmly confirmed now. So one Reddit user said, as a few other people mentioned, Epitaph confirms that Cortana's capture by the Gravemind led to her motivations in Halo 5 and Infinite, right? And so this is really good to know that it seems that there is a concrete reason why Cortana was essentially ruined, I guess you could say, in those games, right? And it's something that I hope Master Chief finds out too, right? Well, towards the end, apparently in the book, Didact is appealing to Cortana and references Mendicant Bias by name quite a few times, explaining that all three of them, Cortana, Mendicant, and Didact, were all driven mad by the Gravemind, and that they have that in common. And he seems to suggest that Mendicant was never truly free from the Flood's influence, and neither was Cortana. Now, we talked about this a little bit back in the day, but it is very possible that Mendicant Bias, whom is actually trying to reach out to Master Chief in Halo 3's gameplay with the terminals, was likely the one that tried to set Master Chief off to Requiem, right? When Chief was aboard the Forward Onto Dawn and it got separated from the Arbiter, it was probably part of Mendicant Bias's fault, if not his entire own, because he was trying to send him to Requiem, right? To atone for his sins or whatever, right? Well, this actually could be tying in a little bit more now, and it seems like not only has 343 forgotten entirely about this whole plotline that Bungie started, but might actually be finally committing to it, because I actually had tons of videos theorizing about this all unfolding in Halo 5, and unfortunately we never saw that, but maybe it's actually happening on a much larger scale, and it's something that's happening right under the hood of Halo lore, like in these books and behind the scenes, only to play a massive part later, like in Halo 7, or dare I say, Halo 8. Probably the first time that's ever been uttered in a video. But I'm sure, this person says, there was another bit earlier on the Primordial and Flood's grand plan to unleash destruction on the galaxy. And actually, I really personally would not be surprised if this was the case. Obviously, you know what they say here, it's very likely that the Flood is doing foul play, man. Like, they're not only manipulating Mendicant Bias, but also potentially, you know, like Cortana, which I hope was the case. It makes me wonder, Mendicant says, only thought it was sending Chief to Requiem under its own volition, but in reality, it was still damage from Gravemind and fulfilling a plan to unleash the Didact and carry out the Primordial's plan to lay waste on the galaxy, right? And so as fun as this lore is, and I love checking this out, and I can't wait to give you guys like a full breakdown of the book. I also got a few other books to catch up on. What am I doing, man? I'm a Halo follower, right? I got a lot of books to catch up on, but I gotta say this, like, ultimately, I know what matters most to most people, and that is the games. And they have a ton of really cool stuff in the books, and actually someone that's read the book gives their thoughts about Halo 7 and what's going to happen next here in a moment. But I just want this stuff to finally pan out in some cutscenes. And, you know, I got to give 343 some credit for giving us, like, actual cutscenes of Foreigner society and civilization back in Halo 4, and the Halo 2 anniversary terminals were all cool and stuff. But here, this person says, obviously, more spoilers, given the revelations in this book, I think we could see an appearance from the Didact in a future game, but more as a spiritual guide, like the librarian in Halo 4. It seems that the Didact has kind of softened his heart up with the humanity and Cortana, and actually faces the Warden Eternal, which is interesting, but we'll break that down more later. 343's goal for the next games should be to flesh out the surviving created after the fall of Cortana. And so there's just so much in between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite that it really could have been an entire Halo game, honestly, and it's a damn travesty that didn't happen, because, you know, seeing the fallout of the galaxy, seeing, you know, Master Chief go back to Reach again would have been such a great part of Halo Infinite. I really wish that was the first mission, because that did actually happen. It's in Shadows of Reach if you don't know. But anyways, they say the created should be one of the main enemy factions in the next game. And I wonder how that might look, right? They also say it is now clear how the events at Point of Light with Spark and Bastion and Epitaph could influence the next Halo. And we've been talking about Bastion. Bastion's cool. It's basically a shield world that was built to resemble Earth. That was also the librarian's secret lab of sorts. And there might be some context on that in this book, honestly. But they say, I would love to see a Warden return in the next game, because the novel hints at how he has some of the bodies in the physical realm and is still depicted in Halo Infinite in doll form. Overall, I think 343 should include Blue Team, the Created, and Halsey in the next Halo game at the bare minimum. And Halo 7... really, I mean, Halo Infinite left us on a big cliffhanger, right? And the thing that I've noticed after doing Halo Follower for about 13 years, these books might seem not too important, but they always provide really big context and basically sets up the next Halo game that is being worked on, right? And we know that 343 has been working on Halo 7 since early 2022 at the very, you know, earliest or latest, whatever. So I think that this would be that there's something going on here that they're setting up. Not necessarily this is going to be in the next Halo game, unfortunately, but it might be providing a lot of context. But because we still have that cliffhanger at the end of Halo Infinite and the beginning, we still don't know what happened to anyone on the Infinity. We still don't know what the hell's going on, right, at large. But these books provide a lot of context and kind of set up where they're going. It's likely at the end of these books, or a sequence of books, that's where Halo 7 will begin, because there was just a lot of books filling in the gap between Halo 5 and Infinite, and that's what these books are probably doing, filling up the gaps between Halo Infinite and Halo 7, right? Which might happen months later down the road, right, on Zeta Halo. But this person says, the 7 million residents of New Phoenix that were composed will eventually restore themselves and enter the domain. They will eventually meet the foreigners and the survivors of the 60,000 ancient humans that also restored themselves. That's not so bad. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to read about that. That seems insane that those people, like, survived technically. So I'm actually kind of curious what is happening with that. I'm really excited to break all that down. And yeah, so if you guys would like more book breakdowns, I haven't done one in a while, but if you guys would like one of this one, let me know down in the comment section below. And this would actually be a great time to plug my Audible partnership. Guys, be sure to check out my Audible link down in the description. You get a 30-day free trial. You can read Halo Epitaph for free for 30 days, get an audio link, and yeah, it's really easy to sign up. Link down in the description. I'll catch you guys soon.